Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Adedigba Aren, and today I'm making this video in response to the request I got from my subscribers on how to fill the application form on the Lache website. Yes, I'm going to put you through on how to do the whole stuff, and also I want you to subscribe if you are joining me for the first time, and also turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video. And also, if you're a returning subscriber, I want you to like and comment and also drop suggestion on what videos I can do in order to serve you better and also to really represent your interest. So before I take you through the process, let's go on a short break. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So let's start by going to the Lache website and accessing the application form. Let's dive right into it. This is the home page of the official application form as found on the Lache website. So I'm going to put you through this application and then try to fill some dummy so that we may be able to move on to the next stage. This portal has 8 sections which you must fill, and of note is that before you even start, ensure that you get to see the end of this application so that you get to know the information you need to have handy so that you can quickly and easily fill the application and complete it on time. And I want you to know that you can't start this application and then save it for later completion. No. So the moment you start, or let me say once you start, you must ensure that you finish it straight up. All right. So now let's go into it. So there are some instructions on the page, and that you must note that you are not able to save this form for completion at a later date. I already said it earlier. And then we estimate it takes about 40 minutes to complete this form. There are 8 sections to this form, and we recommend that you have all the relevant information you need about your training, qualifications, and employment history available before you start to complete the form. We expect detailed answers to the questions in section 3, that is education and training, occupational history, and self-assessment. So let's start with the personal details, and that is section 1 of the application form. So this is an application form for the living assistant role. If you don't have the right to work in the UK, you need a tier 5 temporary charity worker visa to do this role. And of course, in my previous video, I have already highlighted everything you need to do and everything you need to know before you start this application. So I suppose you have already seen the previous video, and if you have not seen it, I will leave the link under this video so that you may watch it at a later time. You have to confirm you are open to become a voluntary live-in assistant, and of course you have to click yes. So then put your first name. In this case, I'm just trying to make a demo. Assuming this is my first name, 23. All right. So this is also street. So street. All right. Maybe Ilu something. You guess. So I have filled it. Put your address, postcode, and country. That is your postcode or where you are currently living. That is maybe it's 1001234. You know. Or maybe you are living in Lagos, or maybe you are living in Delta State, Lagos, Nigeria, or Cross River, Calabar, Nigeria, or Sokoto, Nigeria, something like that. So that is what you put here. Let me just explain this very well. Ensure that your email is an official one. You are not expected to put something like divasexy@gmail.com or something like John the Great @yahoo.com or something like sexy hottie no. Nobody expect that from you. You have to keep it professional, all right? And to keep it professional means that if your name is John Olumide, it has to be something of that nature. Maybe John Olumide @yahoo or @gmail.com or whatever email provider you want to use. So, and of course, I know that some people might have actually claimed that particular Gmail at one point, but just have your way around it. Maybe it's John Olumide 101@gmail.com or olumidejohn@gmail.com, or if your name is Titilayo Adegoke, so it has to be titilayoadegoke@gmail.com. So it has to be something of that nature. So just keep it professional. I'm going to make use of a dummy mail to that effect so that we may be able to get to the other side of things. All right, so that's that. Then your telephone number, you include your country code, and for Nigeria it is 234. Depending on your country code, or let me say depending on the country you are applying from, so ensure you are putting the correct country code. And for Nigeria it's plus 234. all right, so plus 234 plus, so let's look for plus 234, and I think for Ghana is for plus 233. That is from Ghana. All right, and if you're from USA it's +1, and some other countries like that. So depending on the country you are applying for, just ensure you put the correct one, and then you put your phone number, maybe 081 81 0234 all right, so just make sure the number is complete. Then your date of birth, you have to put your date of birth, maybe on the 29th of June 2022. But ensure that you put your correct date of birth there. This is just for a dummy. Then your gender, are you a male or female? All right, so you click. If you are a male, you click a male. If you are a female, you click a female. And if you have other gender, you click it. Then they will ask you, do you have a current driving license? Say yes. It is a must you have a current driving license. So even if you don't have one yet, ensure that you get it before you travel to the UK. That is very important. And if you have not learned how to drive, please kindly enroll into a driving school and learn how to drive. All right, so that you get your driving license, eventually. So do you require a visa to work in the UK? Yes, you'll be needing a tier 5 visa to work in the UK, and that is why you are applying to this organization. So your answer is what? Is yes. Now, after clicking yes, further instruction is stated under it that if you require a visa, Lache is able to provide you with a certificate of sponsorship to obtain a tier 5 temporary charity worker visa. Yes, and that's the reason why I'm filling this form right now, because you need a COS, that is a certificate of sponsorship. So now you will be required to pay the cost of your visa, which is approximately £250, head surcharge £624, as well as return travel to the UK. So now, do you have the necessary resources to cover this cost? It's expected that you have it, so you click yes. Then you move on to the next one, your nationality. So the country you are from, that's your nationality. Which country are you from? Are you from Albania? Are you from Congo? Are you from Nigeria? Are you from the US? So whatever the country you are from, please just fill in. All right, so then you click next. So other details, this is section 2. Now they are asking you, how did you hear about Lache? If other, please help our ongoing recruitment by spend. So how did you hear? Is it through social media, through a friend, received an email, internet search, university career? So I watched Summer in the Forest, I saw the film Lache, this is us, just choose how did you hear. So if other, please give details. That is if you actually heard from other sources apart from those that were listed here. All right, so have you ever applied to any other Lache community? Yes or no? It's expected that it's no, because you have never applied. And if you have ever applied, you can click on yes. And if yes, which community and when? So you supply the details here. So when are you able to come? So just state when you're able to come. All right, so let's say as soon as possible. You could just give a date or tell them when you'll be able to come. You understand? So as for me, I'm putting as soon as possible, but that is not really a good response. But I'm just putting this here so that I may get back to other sections so that you get to see. But ensure that you put a very good time when you know that you're able to move, when you get your certificate of sponsorship. So if you have a preference for joining a particular community, please tell us in the box below. We try our best to consider your request, although this is not always possible. So our communities is Bognor Regis, Brecon, Edinburgh, the Islands, Ipswich, Kent, London, Manchester, and Preston. Welcome, living assistant. So if you have a preference for joining, so if you want to choose in the underlisted communities, if you have a preference for any of them, you can just state it here. Maybe you want Edinburgh or Ipswich or Kent, whichever place you want, just state it here. So let's assume I want Manchester. I'll just write Manchester. I will type in Manchester here so that they know that I will actually prefer Manchester. But if you say Manchester, it shows that you are limiting your chances, because if they do not have vacancies in Manchester, you may likely not be called to come. So the next one is why we try hard to place assistants in their community of choice. Occasionally this is not possible. Are you happy to be considered for a community where there is greater need? Of course, you can say yes, and you can say no, and you can say maybe. That is dependent on your own choice anyways. So 20 Lache communities will give preference to assistants able to commit to 12 months. However, we understand this isn't always possible. Please indicate your length of availability and provide any relevant details. If you are a student from a UK university and would like to do your year-long placement with Lache, please mention this here. Basically, what I'm saying here is that if you know you will not be able to spend up to 12 months with these people, you should state it. I'm doing this so that you can have a guide on how to do it, all right? So just be creative with the whole thing. So you can write something like, I'm willing to stay up to 12 months. Up to 12 months. All right, remember I'm using this as a dummy. Then next. So this is section 3. Education and training. So you are asked to please list any relevant training or short courses, including the dates. So if you had any short courses or training, please list it. Alright. So if you have a certificate, or maybe if you have a diploma in care, or maybe you have a BSc in physiology, BSc in physiology, all the certificates that are just health related, please list it here. And if you have any course you've done in time past and that is health related, put it here as well. Maybe you have certificate in BLS, BLS, ACLS, and the like. Just put something here, all right? Put it here. So this is where you have to put it. Then click on this if you are done. This is section 4. Then this is your occupational experience. So if possible, please give your full employment history and any other relevant work or voluntary experience, including the start and end date. So basically what the place is talking about is that you have to give your employment history. If you have been employed, and your any other relevant work or voluntary experience. Even if you've not had any work employment history, but compulsorily you must state it here that you have volunteered, because what you are going to do in the UK is voluntary work anyway. So if you don't have work history, it is expected at least that you have voluntary work that you have actually done with other organizations. So state it here. I have volunteered to work as a caregiver with so and so between these dates. So just state the date between these dates, 18th of April to so to year 2000. You understand? So fill it, all right? So just ensure that this place is well filled, like write it very well. Let them know you have the required experience, you have volunteered. If you don't have, and if you have employment history, please state it. And if you have volunteered, all the places you have volunteered that are relevant to this role, also please state it. And if you don't have work history as such, but ensure that you put your voluntary roles there. All right, don't leave it empty. So basically, this place is just your ability to sell yourself and also to make you stand out. The next one is, are there any periods in your education or work history since finishing secondary school when you were not in training and not employed? So here it is expected that you put no. All right, so you never had any employment gap in your training. Also make sure that you explain you've never had any gaps in your employment history ever since you graduated from school. Always remember that this is just a guide. This is not the ultimate of what you should put here. All right, I'm just trying to guide you so that you understand what is expected, and make sure that you read the instruction very well so that you understand and you know what is expected of you. This section is asking, why do you wish to live and work in Lache at this time? So you give your detailed answer. Why do you want to work here? Why? So you have to write 500 words maximum and ensure that you convince them so that you'll be considered for the interview. All right. So what relevant skills and experience do you have in supporting people with learning disabilities and of living or working in community? So here, asking you for your experience and the skills you have. Communication skills, ability to listen, ability to, do this and do that. Also state it here, very important. So while we do not expect assistants to ascribe to a particular religious or spiritual practice, everyone who comes is expected to live and work closely with people of different faiths and beliefs. So your ability to manage your religion in the face of other religions, because you might actually come across people who hold different religious beliefs from what you are used to. All right, so you also convince them you are able to live and cope and tolerate. You are not a religious fanatic and the likes, So your ability to convince them, that is what this page is actually asking you. All right. Part of providing support and care for disabled people may mean you will need to support some people with physical needs, for example, wheelchair users or people with higher mobility needs. This could involve lifting and physically supporting people with disabilities and providing intimate personal care. Full training on all aspects of care and support will be provided alongside equipment where needed. Would this be an issue for you? And if so, why? If this will be an issue for you, state your reason and move on. And if no, also state it. And do you have any questions or concerns? If you have, state. If you don't, just leave it. Then next. So this is disclosure of criminal background. All right. So this place is just asking you about your background, criminal background history, if you've had or not. And then this, you will also be required to get a police clearance from your country of origin. So this place is you declaring that, you don't have any criminal record, and even if you do, also state it. All right. So please read the information above and complete this declaration. Do you possess or have you ever possessed any conviction for criminal offenses, including any conditional discharges, bind over or cautions? If yes, state yes, and if no, state no. So if yes, you give the full details here, and if no, you don't bother. Do you possess or have you possessed any conviction requiring declaration at this stage to a Scottish social care employer such as Lache for criminal offences, including? If it is yes, you click yes, and if it is no, you click no. So same thing. If yes, you give you details, then you next. This is section 7, your referees. So if your interview is successful, you will then ask to provide details of 3 referees from your current or most recent employment or education establishment covering at least the last 3 years. We will not contact your current employer before we make a formal offer without your permission. So you have to inform your referees so that they are aware that you are making this application, so that when they get to that stage, they can easily just refer you. All right. Then you next do declaration. So you declare, you read this declaration very well, and do you agree to the above declaration? Yes. And if you don't agree, you click no. All right. Then to this date, you put it, then you submit. All right. So ensure that the information you have entered is correct, then you submit. That is the end of the application, and if you have any question, kindly drop them in the comment section. I'll be glad to help. Thanks for watching.